Hey everybody, welcome back. Today is kind of a momentous occasion here on Shoreviewken. It's my first time reviewing a Sonic game, and boy did I pick a doozy. It's Sonic R for the Sega Saturn, and the R is for racing, or maybe it should have been called Sonic F for frustrating. This game was actually co-developed by Traveler's Tales and Sonic Team, and published by Sega in 1997, and it was also included as an unlockable in the Sonic Gems collection. Most people don't realize that there's actually a plot to Sonic R, but it's the same basic Sonic formula. Eggman wants the Chaos Emeralds and has entered these races in order to obtain them. So Sonic and company also enter the races in an effort to stop him. How the Chaos Emeralds ended up on these racetracks and why Eggman is participating instead of just taking them, I have no idea. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, the gameplay in Sonic R is pretty damn bad for several reasons, but for some reason I keep playing it. The single worst part of this game is the control. It's a racing game, but it features the controls of a 3D platformer, which doesn't exactly work out all that well. You press up on the D-pad to accelerate instead of using one of the face buttons, and you also use the D-pad to turn, which feels kind of awkward. The face buttons are used to jump, and the whole thing is very slippery and hard to control, which is especially noticeable in stages without barriers. You go flying right off the track, and sometimes that's actually your best strategy. Just disregard the track entirely and jump around however and wherever you want, which kind of defeats the purpose of racing if you don't even have to stick to the track, and some of the tracks seemingly have no rhyme or reason at all. I have no idea where the hell I am or where I'm going. The purpose of each race isn't just to win, but also to find the Chaos Emeralds on each track. To do this, you have to collect enough rings to open doors that give you access to different areas of the track where the emeralds are located, and these areas also sometimes serve as shortcuts. Winning races and collecting emeralds unlocks new characters and tracks, and to be fair, each character does play fairly differently. They feature different levels of handling and different special abilities that do come in handy. But overall, the control is just bad, regardless of which character you're using. It doesn't make the game unplayable, but it does make it very frustrating. Actually, one of the more enjoyable aspects of this game is watching the replays and having a laugh at how bad you did. I did have fun with Sonic R though, oddly enough, but I think it might have more to do with the presentation than anything else. This definitely was a rough start for 3D Sonic games. The presentation is where Sonic R really shines, in particular in the soundtrack, because the graphics, while I'm sure someone found them impressive in 1997, have not aged well. The designers made everything as colorful and pleasant to look at as possible, but the 3D itself is blocky and just kind of crappy looking, and there's a lot of clipping. I know the Saturn isn't exactly known as a 3D powerhouse or anything, but I'm certain it was capable of better than this. I do like the overall design though. It is still a Sonic game. What I will never forget about this game though is the soundtrack, which is 100% cheesy 90s dance music, I guess. It's really infectious, and every song will be stuck in your head for days. The Radical City track in particular is burning a hole in my brain as we speak. I know I was really hard on the graphics, but in all honesty, the look and sound of Sonic R are its biggest selling points. It's just a pleasant game to look at and listen to, despite its flaws. The presentation outshines the gameplay in a big way. So Sonic R is a fun little distraction and not much more. I'd recommend playing it just enough to listen to all of the songs. It can be a bit pricey if you go shopping online, the US version in particular, which usually goes for over $50, with the Japanese going for closer to $20. I'd personally recommend picking up the Sonic Gems collection. Get everything you can out of this game and then move on to the others. If you're a die-hard Sonic fan, then you'll want this game no matter what. But for everybody else, it's not what I would call a necessary purchase. Just keep in mind, living in the city, you know you've got to survive. To keep the dream alive. Sonic R.